Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well out there today. Thanks so much for joining me on my YouTube channel. And today I'm a little bit excited because I have a gift from Meeden, and they have sent me their range of fluid acrylic paints, and they have several different sets. So I'm a bit overwhelmed here. There's a lot. So there is the pastel set, and in the pastel set they have bubblegum pink, Arctic blue, mint green, sunrise yellow, and tulip pink. They also have their basic range, which is Mars black, scarlet red, white, titanium white, fluorescent pink. I think that's supposed to be in the, no, that's in the fluorescent set. Okay. Mid green, apricot orange, mid yellow, and cerulean blue. So those are in the basic kit. And then let's get myself situated here. We've got the fluorescent range, which has fluorescent blue, fluorescent purple, fluorescent yellow green, fluorescent lemon yellow, fluorescent orange yellow, and fluorescent pink. Oh my goodness, I think I'm gonna have some fun. And then there's one more set, which is they've been very generous with me, which is the metallic set. Okay, so we have metallic silver black, metallic silver, metallic wine red, metallic cerulean blue, and metallic deep gold, and metallic white. All right, so what I want to do at the moment is, I know I'm going to have a lot of fun with these, but I just want to get to know them, right? And so I've been using golden fluids for a long time, for about 15 years now. And let's put these over here. Goldens are brilliant. I love them. They're absolutely stunning, vibrant, vivid colors. I use them all the time. I use them a lot in conjunction with the Daler Rowney acrylic inks. So they're probably my two favorite mediums to use, and they work really well together. So I'm really interested to see how these fluids compare. They're obviously, there are more, what do I say, a more budget priced product. But I have used other Meeden products before and loved them. So I just want to give you an honest review of how they shape up, how they compare to the Goldens, but also looking at that price point, because it's really hard, especially if you're just starting out, to go and spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on art supplies that you're not sure whether you are going to like, whether you're going to use, because in the beginning you tend to try lots and lots of different things until you gradually, eventually, 10 years in for me, settle on what it is that you are really enjoying, okay? So, it's good to be able to try out some products that are at a lower price point, but still of a decent quality. So what I mean by that is, like, a lot of students actually come to me and, they'll be using like really, really cheap student grade products, and then their work won't, it's just they'll try and do something that I'm teaching them in a lesson or a tutorial, and it just doesn't look anything like what I'm doing. And part of that is because they're not using products that will do the things that the products that I'm using will do, right? And so a lot of times students are blaming themselves, or people who are trying to learn how to paint are blaming themselves for poor work. And sometimes it's actually poor quality supplies. So let's have a look and see what these ones will do. I think it'd probably be good just to swatch them for now, and just see kind of how they feel on my brush. Now let's just do this. I'm just going to try and do this directly onto the paper. I'm just using some watercolor paper, and I haven't even opened these up properly yet. So what I'm going to do is just swatch directly from bottles. So let's go with the pastel range first. And I'm going to actually bring one of my sketchbooks over so I don't waste any paint. This is me playing with my granddaughter. What a beautiful work of art that is. Actually, let's do this. Maybe I'll just have this on the side and I'll just take off the excess paint in between swatches. And that way I'll be able to see how it layers over other materials as well. All right, next color. Let's try mint green. That one came off nice and easily. So just off the bat, I'm going to say it does feel a little thicker than the golden, but it moves nicely on the page. It layers nicely and transparently over some of those other mediums that I was using. These colors are quite yummy. Oh, too much. I'm going to need to put quite a bit of that on my page. It does have a lovely transparency to it, so I can see where I would definitely use it over the top of other mark making pages. I like how it's playing with what's on here. Nora and I were playing mostly with brush pens and markers on this page. So I do like how it's interacting with those. Ooh, this is a nice color. This one is Sunrise Yellow. It is definitely, yeah, not the same consistency as the golden fluids. What I might do is another video down the track where I put both of them onto a sheet and we can actually compare. But I still love them. I love the creaminess of them. They're going on very smoothly and very easily. I feel like these are gelato colors. We're going to be in Italy very soon. So now I feel like a gelato. So that is the apricot orange. And the last one is the bubblegum pink. This might become a favorite. Ooh, nice. Do you ever get like just a visceral kind of ooh when you lay a color down? Just something that just really is like, yeah, I love that one. That's nice too. I so want to just mix them to, I'm so impatient. I'm like, okay, I'm doing swatching. I'm swatching. That's what I'm doing. No mixing, no spraying. Kind of goes against my nature. I just want to mix it all together. If you jumped in late and you don't know what I'm doing, I'm swatching these new Meeden colors that were gifted to me, but I'm also using my sketchbook, and this is a double spread page that my 3-year-old granddaughter Nora and I did together. And I often use pages that we have done together as like a jumping off point for further art exploration. I love that bubblegum pink. That is so yummy. I am definitely going to be using that color a lot. And it just, look at that, it just layer quite beautifully over the top of those other medium. So that's the pastels. Quite lovely. I want to see how they spray out. Is it gonna like ruin my swatching video if I spray them? Because part of the beauty of fluids is that you can move them, right, with water. Okay, so that just gives us a sense. Oh, I can't help myself. Okay, all right. Okay, gives us a sense of movement. So it definitely is fluid, as in we can move it with water. It's not as thick as a regular heavy-bodied acrylic paint, but I'm going to say it's also not as fluid as the Goldens, but that's okay. All right. I think that what I'm going to do, because now I've started something here, and my mind is like, woohoo, what can I do? I think that I don't want to just do a whole boring swatching page. I'm not sure what I want to do yet. So let's go to the basic set and let's swatch those. This one is Scarlet Red. Let's put these down here. Let's do this. Mix it up a little bit. Oops. And mid yellow. There's our primaries. Mid green. And black and white. All right, so that's the basic range. So let's kind of just have a look at that. Nice coverage. Nice and creamy, easy to move around. Green. I'm really particular about my greens. I'm not a big fan of a lot of greens. Greens and purples. It has to be a certain kind. I like kind of olive greens and lime greens, and I like red violet, like purples that go more towards the pink, but I'm not so big a fan of like these kind of mid greens. All right, now I'm being a messy swatcher. That's okay. To the red. Beautiful pigment. The paper's taking it well. I'm using Strathmore 300 GSM watercolor paper. Oop, didn't quite rinse out my brush there. That's okay. Because I've got this much white on the page, I'm going to actually play around and just see what I can get. Adding the white into some of those other colors. The paint doesn't feel cheap. It actually glides quite beautifully on page. It's not granulated at all. Nice. All right, so I want to see what happens with this one as well, if I actually spray it out a little bit. And I'm also interested to see how the Meeden fluid reacts with the rubbing alcohol, the isopropyl alcohol. So I often use this with the golden fluids or also with the acrylic inks to get this lovely resist effect. And so that's working quite well. Those of you who've been following me for a while will be laughing because you probably always knew that a regular swatching video was going to be really hard for me to do. Okay, now I just want to play. I don't want to swatch anymore. I want to actually play. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put away my little my little work of art with Nora. I'll continue working on that later. And I just want to play for a minute with the other materials I have here. I might not swatch everything, but I want to add a couple of things in and see what happens, okay? I think that's my motto. Let's see what happens. Let's have a play with the metallic wine red. So I'm not sure whether these metallics will go better over the top of other colors or whether they're a thing on their own. But I'm just going to play with some on its own. Oops. And then I'm also going to bring in a little bit of the fluorescent pink. Ooh, that's a lot. Okay, fluorescent pink is going to be in other places. All right, so let's just move it around a little bit and see what kind of effects we can get. I just like to see, you know, like how the material, how does it kind of move on the page, and depending on, you know, what kind of, how much water I put in with it or what kind of brush I'm using, watching what happens as I'm adding materials to the page. And it's almost like, you know, I'm trying to figure out, what does this thing do? How will this thing work with the other materials that I use? And so I'm just like staying curious, staying open. I'd like to feather this white out a little bit. And also to see what will happen if I allow some of these colors to kind of mingle and mix. Let's bring a bamboo skewer into it. I don't even have an apron on because I was thinking this was going to be all neat and tidy. Hello, have you seen my work? Oh. Okay. Okay. some really nice things that are happening. I can definitely see myself playing a lot with these colors, and I haven't even used them all yet. Okay. I think I just want to play with what's on the paper now. I don't want to add too much more, but let's see how much, because one of the beautiful things about Goldens and about the acrylic inks is that a little bit goes a long way. So let's just see, you know, how much more mileage I can get out of this, out of what's already on the paper, and what happens when I mix some elements. I might have to title this Failed Swatching Video, because I just get carried away and I can't help it. So here, let's play. I'm going to try and resolve this somehow within the next 15 minutes because it's almost dinner time and I need to get inside and start cooking some, what am I making? Oh, I'm making a tuna casserole tonight. Pure comfort food tonight. All right. Let's pretend we never swatched. Let's pretend that we never started swatching. So there's still a lot of fluidity in these colors up here. I can still move them around. I like that because I often like to play on the page and I like to see how colors mix and mingle together. So the fact that I can still kind of move them around is a plus for me. Can take a little bit of that. Look, that's been there for quite a while now and I can bring it down into some other areas. Take a bit of the yellow, move that around, see what happens when I mix it with that fluorescent pink. Mix up some grays. Everyone's always afraid to make mud, but the thing is, often what we call mud is really just a neutral color, and bringing in some neutrals amongst some of these more vibrant colors, it just gives a bit more complexity to the work. It gives us also a place for the eye to rest. So what I'm doing is just attempting to resolve this mess somewhat, or kind of bring some kind of continuity or cohesion to the piece. Like, it doesn't have to be anything amazing, but it's also giving me a chance to like just play with the materials and just see again how they feel, what they can do. This could be a really pretty underlayer for something else. I like the way that, so I said that it wasn't granulating before, but as one color is picking up another, you are getting a little bit of granulation through here, and it actually is quite nice. Just want to resist the temptation to make anything out of anything. As in like anything representational. Maybe I'll just leave this to be a background piece as it is, or just an exploratory piece. Still quite a lot of that fluorescent pink. Let's move some of that around. I think I'm just going to bring a little bit, I haven't tried this one yet. This is the yellow green, the fluorescent yellow green. And just because there's so much pink in here, I just want to see how the yellow looks. How the yellow green looks with that. So let's try a little bit here. So it's moving quite beautifully with that really fluid paint underneath. So vibrant. Let's put a little bit of that over here. It's going to become a little more grayed down or a little more olive with that pink underneath that's still slightly wet. I could play for hours here. If only we didn't have to eat. Let's just add one more element. Let's just add a little bit of the metallic deep gold. That's yummy. Again, I'm working very much wet in wet here. So there'll be much different results if you start to work with layers of wet across drier areas. But I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. So my honest review so far is that for a budget priced product, I'm not going to say that it has anything on golden. It's a completely different thing. It's like two different things that we're looking at here. But does it have merit? It sure does. Will I be using it? Yes, I will. I can see even just from this very small exploration that I'll be able to put these paints to use in the work that I'm doing. So if you'd like to try out the Meeden range, the golden fluids in either the pastel or the fluorescent or the metallic or the basic, we'll leave the links down below so you can look them up, find them. I'm really keen to see, what happens when we layer up a little bit more, but I really need to kind of see this dry first. So maybe I'll do a part 2, and we can revisit this piece and see if I can work into it further, maybe even see how the acrylic inks would work with the Meeden fluids as an underlayer. And we'll go from there. But I hope you enjoyed this little exploration of a new product for me. Thank you to the folks at Meeden for sending these to me. And I've really had a lot of fun. Okay, I am heading inside to cook some dinner, and hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day.